Good morning, everyone, and good to see you all. Good to see you all, and yes, Masav again for all those who are Messiah. Let's continue. We're in Derech Hashem. We are on this in the section of Tachlis Abriya, the goal of creation, and Os Dala, the fourth piece, and he says like this. Yes, okay. V'hine. He says Lishiyu b'metzios. No, sorry, we are not there. We're on Gimel. Okay, we're on Gimel, page before. V'amnam. However, okay, so again, we're on Tachlis Abriya. We're in Os Gimel 3. V'amnam milvad hayos habriya hazos shekansa shleimos ru'uya l'davik b'vora yisbarach shmo mitzad histamusa lo. He says, in addition to the fact that when a person who acquires perfection, it is appropriate that they are able to connect to the Creator because of the fact that they are similar to Him, right? So he says, on the one hand, there's two things going on over here. So far we've spoken about, let's just review the principles. God created the world to give to us, okay? The greatest good that He could give to us is Himself. When we do good, when we act in a good way, we are more similar to God, and therefore we come closer to God. Okay? So far, so good. And therefore he says, when we act good, when we do mitzvos, when we act whatever, any mitzvos that we do, we are more like God, and therefore we are, by definition, we become closer to Him. But he says there's something much deeper at play as well. He says, Hinei ayidei kenosa shlemos la, through acquiring the perfection, nimtzeis mistabekes v'holeches lo. It's not just we're not just similar to God, but we actually cling to God. When we do good, we actually cling to Him. And what ultimately comes out is that when we acquire good, when we do good, then we are ultimately going to not just be like Hashem, but we actually cling to Him, and it's all one thing. What does that mean? It's all one thing. And the next paragraph is going to explain this. And this is a very fundamental idea. He says, since we know that God's essence is the true perfection, as we said earlier, therefore, when anything that is perfected is always going to be connected to Him, like a branch of a root. Even though the root doesn't, so to speak, get to the branch does not get to the root, ultimately it comes from it. What comes out, when we do good, when we act in a perfected way, that is the essence of God. Anything deficient, anything lacking, is a void of God, a hiddenness of God's goodness, the hester panav, and a hiddenness of His face. So let me unpack one more line. Okay, fine. Let me just unpack what he's saying over here. What he's saying is like this. Let's say you have anyone here have you have a hybrid car, right? No, not yet. I thought. Okay, someone. Okay. I remember seeing a hybrid car in the parking lot. Okay, so a hybrid car. So I don't know. A hybrid. Imagine you're driving a hybrid car. Sometimes it's pulling from the gas. Sometimes it's pulling from the battery. Right? I imagine when you're driving, you don't necessarily. Maybe you do. I don't know. Maybe it's a bad analogy. But you don't necessarily know where the energy is coming from. Right? Maybe if you listen really, really closely. But ultimately, it's driving. It looks the same. It's driving the same way. It's turning the same way. It's going further the same way. Sometimes it's driving from one source. Sometimes it's driving from another source. So when we act as today, or we're acting over here, like what is fueling our energy? Okay, what's fueling our energy? So, obviously we have our heart and our brain, etc. Our neshama, like what's fueling our existence? I don't know, we don't think about that because it's beneath the hood. We don't really think about that. But what he's telling us is that when we do a mitzvah, what's fueling our existence is God. Because a mitzvah, like right now we are learning Torah, right? So what is your energy source? What is the thing that's driving you? Right? Is it the gas? Is it the battery? Is it God, or is it something, so to speak, devoid of God? The answer is it's God. Because by definition, for doing a mitzvah, the only thing that could be fueling such positivity is Hashem Himself. So right now, the energy source that is animating us, animating all of us who are learning Torah, is Hashem. When we go ahead and do something that is not godly, okay, then it is of course, ultimately it comes from Hashem, but it is called Hester Panim. It's coming from a different energy source, right? And therefore, it's not going to be that same godly energy that's driving us. Even though, again, from the external, I still look like the same person, no matter if I'm doing an Avera or I'm doing a mitzvah. But the point is, no, it's radically different. And to recognize that when we do a mitzvah, we are being fueled by Hashem, right? We are being fueled right now. You are being fueled. Hashem is directly energizing you to give us the energy to try to comprehend, to try to think, to sit here, to analyze, to study. All of that is being energized by Hashem. If we were to go ahead and turn to the person next to us and say Lashon Hara, it would be like the energy source would switch and it'd be coming from a different energy source, right? So first of all, so what he's telling us is that when we act good, and we're not just acting good, we're acting godly, Okay, so we're not just being similar to God. It's not just an external thing. Oh, doing mitzvos is similar to Hashem. That's true, and that's nice, but it's so much deeper. When we do mitzvos, we become rooted to Hashem. Our energy source is Hashem. And to imagine that, to think about that, when we're doing mitzvos, that we are connecting to God in such a deep and profound fashion, not just externally, but internally. We're driven by Hashem. That is, we understand the world works that way, but it just, I think I find that inspiring to recognize that right now, in this moment, we are being fueled by Hashem in a way that we are not when we are not doing mitzvos. Okay.